Hi guys, this is MicheleMarieDalene. Today we're going to do a quick discussion on what we are proposing for the voice over IP setup and explain how we are going to try to implement it into our existing system. This is a pretty simple technical video. It's not going to be too complex. We are going to be getting into some of the nitty-gritty, so I'm not going to spend all day on this, but we are going to cover some things. So let's go take a look at the computer, the setup right now as it is. And, of course, Homeless Mike is here. You want to say hi, Mike?
Hey, guys.
And we're going to be going and looking at the phone system in the wiring closet, because that's where all the horror is, and we're going to talk about the problems that we're going to be having with some of the different designs on the market. So let's take a look at the facts. Let's move the stepladder out of the way here. Okay. First of all, first problem. Second problem. Third problem. Alright, let me explain all the problems. The computer there is almost good enough to run free PBX. The motherboard is a little crappy, old, and ancient, and it definitely is going to need to put a new motherboard in there. So I've got a case. If I decide to run my own PBX, unfortunately, let's get fans. That is cat box that makes dust. Fans get sucked in the computer. Computer overheats, ruins CPU, and then basically you're going to end up with a whole pile of motherboards, constantly replacing motherboards that are putting in filters. There's our existing PBX system. You see there's a layer of plaster dust everywhere from when they redid the ceiling. So you can see that we have a new ceiling that they did paint and did mud, but they didn't quite finish it, so it's there, it's up. At least this room is dry, which is a great thing. So this light fixture I can take off the wall. It's not too hard to do. The bulbs both fell off and broke, so theoretically it's just there. But clearly, I might as well show you guys some of the gear. This here is the equipment from the my phone company. This is from the past. The battery pack in this one has died. I gotta put a new battery in it. So if we get the stimulation check, we can do that. Now, I said I had ADSL2 plus. This underneath here is the bonding tool to connect the two lines together here, and then that goes into this cord here, and then we have a filter for the phone line, and they connected the separate phone wire here for the modem, and then this wire here is going for second phone jack, I guess. It goes into these two in here. So what we would do is I could actually, since this is unlocked, I can actually set that up to provision for two phone lines, but I'm actually renting that modem from the phone company, so I don't really want to mess up their setup, or they're going to be hopping mad, and I don't want to do that, okay? I just want to get it working. It's our only analog phone we have in here. It's a little dirty, but it is working, and as you can see, the boards, I'll show you this here. We have, these are the boards here, and these have little labels on them so we know which numbers they are. Extensions 31 to 17, 10 through 17. And then we have these on here. This one here, I put these labels on so I can find them. And then I can look over here, I can see 37 through 27, and then we have nothing here and here. I should label those two. But obviously, the idea was to upgrade one of these boards with an E1, T1, and then go straight with, I went up with asterisk, like I said, with E1, T1, and do it that way. But For right now, since I have incoming support here for 8 analog phones, there's only using 2. The second line isn't being used right now because of COVID. The phone company said that they can't set me up a second phone number yet because they have to send the crew out, and they don't want to have their men or women potentially be infected. So they basically said is they're not going to be able to do anything. This is our... Might as well talk about this real quick because people wonder how we do our DSL here. This is the T-Mobile side of the thing here. Yeah, it's always photos are always falling out of these holes. I swear to God, this thing has got a bad connection. Theoretically, I can unplug this in a wouldn't matter because we're not even using this right now. So maybe I might just do that since we're not using this for the second here. Yeah, just a lot of gear plugged in. Okay, and none of the way cord keeps getting unplugged from the bottom. Powers this thing. This is one of those tubs that really should just basically be replaced. Somebody said to me is, Michelle, why don't you do this since you can? Why don't you go ahead, since this has a USB port on the back, someone says you plug in the T-Mobile into the back of the Frontier router, you can set it up to take over if the internet goes off. And I think that might be a worthwhile endeavor to do. But I think the routing tables would get kind of ugly, and I really don't want to do that right now. This is the step ladder my landlord left behind so I can get up, put batteries in the smoke detectors. It's ugly, it's messy, it's really, I gotta sweep this floor. That computer there for the it would be good because it's small, it would fit underneath the shelf, but I definitely want to get a better case for that, because I mean the motherboard is definitely underpowered and it's not going to work very well. And turn the flash on because you're gonna see, I'll show you now. Next thing here is, this is the computer I wanted to use for this. This is an old AT case that was modified with, it's got Linux on it, it's got tape drives, DLT tape drives, it's got CD-ROM, it has a older QIC tape drive right here. You put in the cartridge, would go in here. DC6250. And that would be a good system also for running 3 PBX as well. And you can plug in put a new motherboard in that one. The replace that. That's just a Celeron. And it only has a 20-pin power supply connector, so replace that with a newer power supply. And the idea is that way we can keep our old analog, actually it's a TDMA, actually it's a hybrid actually, PBX working pretty straightforward. The only thing is with the people that are doing the cop calling, I'm concerned that with a UK phone number, there are going to be people constantly calling 999 and really, really pissing off Scotland Yard, and I don't want that. I don't want Scotland Yard to keep showing up at my house in Connecticut because somebody thought it was funny to text Scott 999 and say, "Oh, Michelle's having a crisis" and all that. First of all, I think that would be extremely frustrating for Scotland Yard to come show up here in the United States. More than likely, probably would just contact the state of Connecticut, and they probably would be more than pissed off, because then it would become an international issue, which really would suck. But there's definitely enough demand to encourage the use of a UK phone number. So I do see the demand there for it. So that's the project I'm going to be working on in the near future. Even though I probably could reprogram the built-in voice over IP modems from my ISP's modem, instead of using, an external ATA device. I'm going to go with the external ATA device because of the fact that I will own it. If I brick it, that's my problem. If I brick my DSL modem, there ain't going to be no internet, and then I'm going to have an even bigger problem. So that's the reason why. Of course, with T-Mobile as my backup internet provider, there's also, now that they're offering, T-Mobile's offering home internet here in Connecticut, they just set up that. I'm going to look into that. They say it's $50 a month for unlimited home internet. They'll give me a special access point, which would sit there with the little mini MiFi hotspot. It's just sitting in there, connected by the VoNets into this computer here. So theoretically, it'll make it a little bit less messy in their wiring wise. Personally, I really rather would go with a computer that doesn't require any kind of active cooling because of the dust. Something that also doesn't take a ton of power. I did find one from a Canadian supplier that looks promising, but what's confusing about it is when he said what version of the software is, it's using Micro Linux and some version that's running on, they said 1.4 free PBX. Did he mean 14? Because 14.2? Because if it was 14.2, that'd be fine. I mean, if it's 1.4, that's ancient history, man. It doesn't look that old. It looks like a fairly new design. I don't know anything about Micro Linux to really determine anything about it, other than it runs on an AC wall or it only uses 12 volts. That's key, because if I don't have to use mains voltage, if I have a large enough battery backup, that my internet would keep working if we have power failures. So that would save me a lot of setup problems. That's what I'm looking into. Also, I got to consider upgrading my switch to do power over Ethernet. If I want to get myself a voice over IP hardware phone, a lot of them are PoE, and I don't have any power over Ethernet devices yet. So I need to upgrade to 802.11af to support power over Ethernet, so that there's inexpensive switches that do it. I'm looking into it. That's what I'm going to be doing. But the most important thing is the donations is making this possible. But right now, we're going to wait until we get the stimulus check. Right now, it's in the home stretch. They are actually assembling the bill for the first House and Senate votes. Okay, as a complete ensemble. So once the ensemble is done, once the bill is done, we're going to, if it passes the House and passes the Senate, they may have to take some things out. We know that the the minimum wage increase is a sore spot. But what I do not think is a good idea is the fact is that they're constantly saying is, we don't need Republican support. Guys, you're putting all your eggs in one caucus. You're depending on the Democratic caucus to pass this. If you can get Republicans to sign on with you, that's even better. there's no reason why you shouldn't be trying to aim for as many votes as you can get. And we know that there are several Republicans that have said there are things that they do not like, and there are things that the Democrats also do not like. Manchin and Sinema don't like the minimum wage increases. The Republicans want tighter income restrictions on the $1,400. I think you guys should be aiming to find a good compromise for both sides. That's all I'm going to say on that. So, but until that time, we're not going to be able to do much. Well, let me show you one other thing too. These shelves over here. I talked to Krista, and this weekend she's going to help me. Yeah, the shelf really does bow like that, even though there's really not much weight on there. That's just the nature of plastic shelves. I bought the plastic shelves because they were inexpensive, but the truth is, they're crap. Okay, let's be honest. The same with that plastic shelf over here with the records on it. You can see that they bowed too, and those are much more rugged shelves than those are shelves, but they're both bowing under the weight of books and stuff on top. I have every intention to go with a better setup in the near future. So that's what we're going to work with. I want to get some more wire shelves, kind of like this wire shelf, but the full length ones that go to the floor. And because these are tough, this one isn't bowed. And I wanted to have one over here, a small one here, so I could put like my dot matrix and my laser printer over here, so I could print things. Right now, there's no printer hooked up. The one in the bedroom is a plastic shelf. The laser printer's on it, but the dot matrix isn't. So I definitely would like to try to rearrange the shelves to make better use of the space that we have. Also, regarding the phone system, people have wondered about all this wiring. I'm going to explain this again real quick here so you understand how this works here. Sorry, it's a little messy. Yeah, okay. Let's just... Oh, this is a piece of debris. Alright, from the lamp. Alright. The shade. This thing needs a new lampshade. Alright, so anyway, that's another project altogether. Okay, so what happens is this plastic insert in the shade, and it's all cracked up and it's falling apart. But this crazy setup has been here for a long time, and it has worked fine. The only thing is, I really seriously would love to, especially if they come with the $2,000 a month, which is probably going to be in the fourth stimulus bill, is if that even passes, even if it's $1,000 a month or even $500 a month, that would be fine. Because then I could do is, because this is my work, I want to upgrade my studio gear. I want to fix anything that's broken, anything that's falling apart and decrepit. Oh yeah, I did put some stickers, overlays on the keyboard for Final Cut Pro, so I can edit the keyboard macros. They were designed for the Apple keyboard, so unfortunately it kind of hung over a little bit. Theoretically, I can peel them off and put them on other keyboards. The only ones I didn't put on, yes I did. I put them on the top here. I didn't put anything in the direct arrow keys because I think that'd be kind of ridiculous. I didn't put any on over here, and I didn't put any on the number keys over there. But I did clean the keyboard before I put on, and they are all set to go. So, after we fixed the RAM module that was not seating well, the computer has been working steady and reliable, and that's great because it means I don't have to worry about any more having computers crashing in the streams. And we have been happily ever since, because if you ever need to replace the power supply in a 2009 Mac Pro, I can tell you, you're not going to get much better than what you've already got because there is no upgrade power supplies. There is repaired, refurbished ones, but that's about it. Now, obviously, if you were going to go out there and go for a new computer, I would say for me a Mac Mini, and with Mac Mini would be fine. I'm actually looking to get one for the bedroom because the Power Mac G5, God rest its soul, is seriously is getting long in the tooth. It's really seriously having problems. Right now, I think it's the SCSI cord. Because right now there's fact we get no SCSI terminators plugged in, and Macs get very cranky when your SCSI cards are not properly terminated. Because Patty unfortunately threw out the cable, and I can't terminate it because I don't have a terminator that plugs in there. So that's that. Also, you always want to talk about Rusty the cat here. Hey, Rust, do you want to say hi to the audience? Of course you do. Anyway, he's always on camera. He's a big cat. People look at him and they go, "Holy cow, is this cat big or what?" Yes, he is. He's enormous. He also makes a lot of static cling, which is bad for electronics, which is terrible for gear. But oh well. So that's this AF do. Let's autofocus. Oh, okay. So now it's on? Now it's on, yeah. Where's it off? Well, it looks like it's focusing, so it must be on. It must be on. All right, so basically, that's it. That's all the gear, cat situation. Yes, my trackball. This is invaluable for me because look at the trackpad. Look for this homemade mouse pad that has been taped to the table, and it's got duct tape and it's coming off because I'm constantly nervous. I'm constantly picking at it, constantly replacing the duct tape. The trackball is a tool that has made my life a lot easier because I don't need a lot of room for my desk. I could just basically stay placed. Which with this cat is important because he's constantly taking up the whole desk. You can see how big he is. He actually is really very long. A big cat. We do have replacements for that camera there on the wall. I just didn't install it yet, but we do have a replacement camera. Which I was going to do a whole video on cameras. I didn't get to it yet. Or I did. But it kept getting, sidelined. All right, now I need to really work on